Church, welcome to day 2 of our 6-day devotional series. Today we are talking about Peter's denial of Jesus, a story which we find in Luke 22 from verse 31 to 35. That's the first part. The second part we find it in Luke 22 from verse 54 to 62.
This is a well-known story. Peter was the most passionate disciple. He hung on every word Jesus said. He was the first to jump into action when Jesus moved. He was a leader. In other words, he was very reliable to Jesus, not expected to falter, and that was Peter's own standards. In the story, we see that Jesus doesn't congratulate Peter for his passion. Jesus tells Peter that he would deny him 3 times that same night. That same night, Peter would deny Jesus 3 times. Peter obviously doesn't agree with this, because according to him, he can't imagine a situation where he would fail Jesus. It's just impossible. Well, Peter failed big time. He actually denied Jesus 3 times and then he went into hiding. Have you ever felt like you failed God? Have you ever been so passionate about Jesus only to fail him the next day? Well, that's exactly how Peter felt. Remember, we spoke about Peter's own standards on following Jesus, his own expectations. That's exactly how we are as well. So why do you think Jesus revealed all of this to Peter? His intention was not to rub it in or to remind him how big a failure he was. His intention was to show Peter, no matter how big his failure was, Jesus' sacrifice on the cross was big enough to restore Peter. That's the key word that we should focus on in the journey to the empty tomb. In fact, that is the main mission that Jesus had when he came to his people, to restore us to the Father.
So in the second part of this story, that's the part after Jesus' resurrection. We see Jesus, he does not belittle Peter or pull him down. Instead, what Jesus does is he restores him back. He restores him to full relationship and full authority as a leader. That is what we call the gospel, the good news. It is the news where there is restoration in Jesus. He paid the price for our restoration. So no matter how many times or how big our failures or just, we just have to be like Peter. And just like Jesus restored Peter, he will restore us.
Amen.
So if you're feeling like that today, remember that is why Jesus went to the cross. If you're feeling down, remember that is why Jesus went to the cross. If you feel you're not worthy, remember that is why Jesus went to the cross. When you're feeling condemned, you must remind yourself that there is no more condemnation in Jesus Christ.
Amen.
That's what Jesus did for us on the cross, and his love and restoration is here for you and me and us today.